Hey Dreamers, I'm Bryce and I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be Blackened? Let's find out using math. Cue the intro.
So Ted, give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Blackened, song number 1 off of Injustice for All, and song number 27 out of 115 or something like that for this whole journey I'm going through as a major fan, as a musician, and as just a lover of music to grade all of the songs in Metallica's discography. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. We're using the following criteria: lyrics, instrumentation, composition, memorability, and emotional response. Each category is a 0 to 4 point scale, and that grand total is 20 points possible. We'll see at the end of this video what score it gets and whether or not it makes it to the top 20. I believe it needs at least 14 points to get there. So without further ado, let's listen to Blackened, shall we? Blackened at the end. Right off the bat, we have this really cool intro. It's slowly fading in, just guitars. Now, if you're wondering, hey, why does that guitar or those guitars, there's a lot of them, I think there's a rhythm going, and that's probably doubled, and then there's 2 leads harmonizing, or at least 2. Why do they sound a little different? Is it because they're fading in? Is it a certain effect on the guitar? No, this is all backwards. Every single piece of this intro up to this point is reversed. They played some parts, they recorded it normal, and then they took it, and they reversed it. So everything you hear, if you took this part of the song and you flipped it, it would sound a little more normal. By reversing it, it has this different rhythm to it and this different feel, and the notes kind of pull differently. And it's a really creative way to open a song, really creative way to open a record, and then we get this. This riff is magnificent. Not only are they playing a really super fast, thrashy riff, but this is not in 4/4 time. We have a weird count. This whole thing is either in 7/4 at a really fast pace or 7/8. However you want to count it, let's break it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. I can't even count it and play it at the time. However you choose to count it, this is not a natural riff. This is not something you can just sit down to the kit and play along to. Even when I was learning this song, I was like confused. I was like, wait, where are the hits again? Are these offbeats? Are they downbeats? Are they up? I don't know. It's so confusing. When you sit down to really dissect it at a slow speed, you find that the main riff is in 7/4 or 7/8. Depending on how you count it. And that to me is fantastic, especially considering you don't ever lose your beat. Typically in an odd time signature, you find yourself kind of going like a, and you're always kind of finding that place to kind of, where do I bob my head? Where do I go? But with this riff, the 8th note stays the same throughout. So you can just kind of keep going like this, not knowing that there's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And your head can just keep bobbing. That is how you write a cool, unique riff that's still catchy to the general public. Because once you start tricking with the beat, which they do a lot in this song, you can kind of lose some people. But to do it creatively enough that it doesn't feel like it's skipping anything, very awesome. that riff there. That's the riff they play in the chorus when they go, come on, color, Blackened. I don't even know the lyrics. Blackened. We're alluding to what's to come. It's great. We're putting in just a little tag. We get the main riff and then the Blackened riff. And then we're going back into the main riff again. Here we go. Emphasizing those offbeats on the beginning. He always hits that second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're in 6/4. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Verse 1. It's crazy. So we've got a 7/4 main riff, a 6/4 verse, and a 4/4 chorus. So many changes, but the head keeps going the same speed. Mwah. Love it. Double kick. Back to the hi-hat. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's interesting. He usually does the first one, boom, pa, but this time it's boom, cha, boom, pa. Different. It's different. You're expecting that and or the two or whatever you want to call it, but then he goes he shifts it over just a little bit. One kick snare combo later. Great. Great. That's a great way to break down that riff. We've already heard that, and then adding it a second time. The first time through the chorus is, or maybe it isn't. I guess I've already forgotten. But what I'm saying is they're playing it 2 times. So that's that last part. They're just adding the end to it, just building upon the same riff over and over and over. I think that's great. If you have a riff that sounds great, keep building on it. See if you can break it down to its smallest parts. Maybe bring it out to make it more complex. They're playing with stuff. They're experimenting with their composition, and that is what you're supposed to do as an artist. Good job being an artist, Metallica. Now we have a brand new section with that kick drum. 1, 2, 3. Now we're on the 4/4 section. Both guitars going. No bass at all, because why would we care about bass on this record? What I really love about this section of the song is that you don't actually have to memorize the order that he's saying, because there's that echo. I don't know if this is intentional or if it just happened to be that way, but by adding that echo, opposition, opposition, contradiction, contradiction, by doing that, by doing it like 3 times, you're training the audience, oh, we're going to be saying what he says right after he says it. After 2 or 3 times doing the same pattern, we're going to pick up on that, and now we just have to listen. Okay, what's the word? da da da. So you're actually training them. This actually makes it more memorable. It makes it easier to. You're like training them how to sing while you play the song, and that's really cool. One thing I want to point out is we're going to do this section. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's word echo. Word echo. We'll go through. We'll change a little bit. And then when it comes back around, we'll have the echo first and then the word. They flip it the second time through. So let's keep listening. Go up to the 2, I believe, or 3. Oh, also, I want to call attention those straight fills on the snare. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. You never really hear that much from, well, I shouldn't say you never hear that from Lars, but typically up to this point, there's always been a ba-da-da-da-da-da or a ba-ba-doo-ba-da. He does something funky, but just a straight snare roll. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He doesn't do that very often at all, but it fits right here. And we'll hear it a lot more in this song, but it fits, and I like that. Good job. Jam out the riff. Like right there, that's a weird fill. So you can hear it. The first word now is actually the echo. It's cut back in the mix. It's more, it feels farther away. And so now the response is actually feeling louder. They don't obviously do that the same way live. When they were playing it live, he would still sing it first and you would repeat after him. But it's kind of a cool effect as far as the recording is concerned. Would I do that? I don't know. I think that if I was recording it, I would have kept it the same. This is just kind of one of those engineers that goes, what if we do it backwards? And they're like, all right, sure. I don't know if that's the exact story of what happened, but you can tell that this is just some people playing around with effects and saying, what if we flip it? And that there isn't a real purpose to this because they're not going to play it that way, or they're not going to do it that way live. They're not going to expect the audience to sing it first and then they repeat it. That's not how this works. So just an interesting recording idea. Whether or not it works, you can argue it. Doesn't bother me much. Okay, I want to call attention to this part. First off, that was a really cool drum fill, but let's count this next part because it's really goofy. I'm going to rewind just slightly. I want to show you how the time signature changes. They put in an extra beat each time they go through. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I also want to point out the drum pattern. There's so many things to point out. That harmonized guitar part keeps climbing and climbing. They're harmonizing the whole way through. There's some rhythm guitars in the background to kind of hold the lower end, but they're harmonizing, they're climbing. They're gradually getting higher. The drums, what they're doing, they're just a straight beat. Boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha. But when we have the first, so it's 6/4, 7/4, 6/4, 7/4. The first 7/4 measure goes boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom. Okay, we just that 7 beat, that final, what am I doing with my fingers? That 7th beat is boom, cha. Okay, the second time through, when we get to the 7/4, it's boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, cha. Right? So now we have a snare on the 7 instead of on the and of 7. The first time through, kick on the 1, snare on the and, or sorry, kick on the 7, snare on the and. Second time through, snare on the 7 and just another hi-hat on the and. Boom, cha, versus boom, cha, cha. You get it. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain it any further. Let's listen. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, roll. 2, 3, 4, roll, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, roll, 1, 2, 3, roll, 1, 2, 3, roll, 1, 2, 3, roll, 1, 2, 1. You see how he's building the drums like that? He's having the roll only at the end of a section of like 4, and then all of a sudden it's at the end of a section of 2, and then it's every boom, boom, ba, 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 boom, boom, ba, 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 ba. He's building it, right? You don't maybe typically listen to drums if you're not a drummer, but he is actually composing the drums to lead you into the solo. And that's why you need to value Lars as a drummer. I know he gets a lot of hate, but his compositions build the songs. He's actually one of the major reasons Metallica is so revered around the world. He is helping bring this thing from just a riff to like pushing it towards where it's going. I'm just saying that he's composing. He's not just playing drums, he's composing drums. And that is what you're supposed to do. It's not, you don't have to do that, but I'm just saying it helps a lot. That's what we love. That's what we love. Back to this. Chorus. They don't even finish. They don't even give you a chance to have that pause. Pause. They don't do it. We're just gonna go into the riff. I believe that's a weird time signature too. It might be a weird 8 number, but like a 9/8 or whatever. I'm not gonna count it here because it's solo time, baby. I don't know what's happening here. All I know is that it's so difficult they don't even do this section live. I don't know exactly what part they're cutting out. I don't remember when they go from which piece to the next piece, but I know that this part is goofy. And it's something to do with the fact that the guitars are playing that 7/8 pattern or 7/4 pattern, but it might be in 4/4, and so it might end on a weird part of the count. And the drums are playing a straight pattern, which doesn't match up with the 7. And so the drums are being offset a little bit. I want you to just listen to this. I'm not even going to attempt to count it because it's goofy. But listen to how weird this is. Because with that 7, with that thrash pattern, it's similar. It's very similar to the main riff. But it's not the main riff. But it is. I don't know how to explain it. Let's listen. Go back. What I'm mainly listening to is the do 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 do, those offbeat syncopated do 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 do. Those are coming when we do this riff the first time through. Those are hitting with the drums. Boop 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 doo doo boop boop doo boop boop. They're hitting with the kick and the snare. But then when we go through the second time, they're offbeat. And that's happening because whatever is going on in that weird fill. They're playing the same pattern, but the drum changes, and it's just weird. I'm going to go back one more time. Here. It's so strange. It's so strange. And I don't know if they're skipping it live because they can't remember how they played it, or if there's a reason, if they just don't feel like this section matters anymore. But we can't argue, it's really strange. And now we're back into the verse.
Yeah, take it from the way. Millions of our years, minutes disappear. Darkening in vain, stacking its remains. All is said and done. Never is the soul. To begin with the dance of the dead. Blackened is the end.
Now the change up.
To begin with the dance of the dead.
Instead of color our world black and they play it without the singing part. So anybody that's been learning the song up to this point, if they were training them how to sing the hook, everybody would be like, color our, wait, whoa, where are we? What part of the song is this? What? Is this, we're going to do the verse again, or the chorus again, but it's going to be different this time.
The outcome of fantasy. Knocking, potent, in the exit of humanity. No, I'm blackened.
Did you notice there wasn't a stop there? Color our black and it's different every time. It's so great. This is making composition interesting. This is orchestration. This is more songs like this, please. From you, from me. I try it every once in a while. I've got plenty of songs that change up the time signature, but this is just really cool and interesting. I don't know though. Does it throw you off? It's interesting to me, but does it throw you off? Curious. Put it in the comments below if you're thrown off by these rhythm changes. Let's finish. That's it. Just a little section at the end. But great. It's so much better than, what song was it on the last record that it just, Leper Messiah. They go through that dirge at the end. They repeat that main riff all the way through by just doing a section and then blop, it's just over. Right? We got through the song. It's done. It's over. Welcome to our new record. We'll see you on the next track. Right? What a great way to open a record. What a great way to what a great song. Let's talk about the numbers. Whoosh. Lyrics. What is this song about? It is about the end of the world. Color our world blackened. Fire, explosion. We've terminated its worth, right? Death of Mother Earth. It could be about nuclear war, using fire to begin with the, all the explosions and stuff. It could be biblical. It could be biblical. It could be anything, but really it's about the end of the world. I think that this record is very political, so it could very much so be something to do with war. Regardless of what it's about, the lyrics are really interesting. They're very potent and artistically crafted. If you've been watching this whole journey so far, you know that I love when lyrics come off as poetry, when they're not just stream of consciousness, but they actually have a rhythm and a flow, and that they're artistic. And I think that these lyrics follow that. The only points I have to knock for this is actually the chorus itself, because I think it's less in the lyrics and more in the delivery of the lyrics, but I feel like it's interconnected. To begin whipping Dance of the Dead. And for some reason, not for some reason, for all of my life, or most of my life, until embarrassingly recently, like maybe a couple of years ago, I always thought it was to begin with the Dance of the Dead. And to begin with the Dance of the Dead. There's something about to begin whipping Dance of the Dead that I don't know, you'll have to explain to me why that makes sense, but for me it doesn't really, I don't know, I guess the fire is whipping the Dance of the Dead. It feels like, it doesn't feel grammatically right. Something doesn't sit well with me. I want it to be to begin with the Dance of the Dead, or something else. And then also, Color Our World Blackened does not have a very appealing flow. Color Our World Blackened. There's a lot of it's hard to get that out quickly. Color Our blah blah blah. I always thought it was "Come on, we're blackened." That's what I heard for years and years and years. Come on, we're blackened. Blackened. And I was proud to sing it that way. And when I finally looked up the lyrics, I don't even know when it was, I was surprised. Color Our World Blackened. Yes, that makes more sense from the story, and that has a nice snark to it, but it doesn't flow right. It doesn't come out right. So I'm just going to knock it for the fact that it doesn't have the right cadence. The rest of the song, the lyrics are spectacular. So I wanted to give it a perfect score, but for this one, lyrically, it gets a 3. Instrumentation. I can't say enough about this song. These guys are going crazy. They are playing fast. There's double kick pedals. There's weird fills that are offbeat. The guitars are just all over the place. The bass is doing who knows what because, we know, But I got to give it to them. This is a very hard song to play. It's a hard song to learn. Awesome job. Instrumentally, 4 points. Composition. You know I love me, a lot of time signature changes, and boy does this song have them. Of course, we fall into the verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus. Same as every other song, and I definitely don't like that. But they keep it so fresh because each chorus ends in a different way, and because that whole section in the middle is a different feel, a different time or not time but tempo. Well, yeah, tempo, time, everything is changed in the middle. We have all these changes and then we go straight for a while, and then we have this cool build to a solo. We have that interesting intro with the reversed guitars. There's so many things to love about this song, and they get to the point. No section seems to drag on too long before something new comes to interest us. So compositionally, I'm really happy about this song. This one gets a 4. Memorability. I think the song is pretty memorable. You guys are all going to get mad at me because, of course it's memorable. Of course it's memorable. It's got to be a 4. But I think that it's still the chorus. The reason why I'm knocking it down only one notch is because I get like the words goofed up in the chorus. I hear it one way and then I find out that it's something different, and so I'm like upset that I learned it wrong. So maybe that's more on me and less on them. But also enunciate, man. I also think that there's some stuff in the middle. There are a couple of transitions that are a little bit goofy and might be a little off-putting to the average listener. I also know that I didn't come to like this song for a very long time. It took really long. Like when I was kind of learning guitar and I was new to Metallica, wasn't as interested in this song. It felt strange to me. But now that I know a lot more about rhythm theory, the song is a lot more intriguing to me. And I find it interesting that they can play something that you can still bob your head to, but it keeps changing so many times. So I kind of go back and forth on whether or not it's memorable. I think it is memorable. But it needs a better hook. It needs something that really sticks, because regardless of who you are, if you don't know rhythm theory and you haven't really memorized how to play this song, you're probably just going boo-doop, boop, boo-doop, boop, 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 and you might add too many boops. You might add way too many boops and you might not actually get it right. So because it's a little bit difficult to learn, I'm going to knock it down 1 for memorability. Give this one a 3. Emotional response, you saw my face, you saw my head, you saw my energy. I'm feeling really good. There's not much else to say to this song except I really enjoy listening to it. I'm going to give them a lot of points. This one gets a 4. And so Blackened gets a grand total of 18 points, putting it all the way up to number 3. Third, you'll see that it has the same point total as Sanitarium and Ride the Lightning. The reason it was higher than those two is we actually had to go down the line. First, I look at composition, then I look at memorability, then emotional response, and then instrumentation. That's my order that I've chosen long ago. I can't go back on it now. And this one actually went all the way down to instrumentation. Next step is lyrics, but instrumentation was higher. All the other scores were the same as Sanitarium. But there it is. 3rd place for Blackened. I hope you enjoy it, people who are watching. I hope you enjoy this number, because we're not going to see a lot of them get this high on this record. Just a fair warning. There's a lot of duds in this record, in my opinion. Oh no, what is he saying? The internet's going to go crazy. It's just my opinion, man. But there we have it, Blackened number 3. So now it's your turn. Tell me what score you would give this song in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe, so we can get to 1,000 viewers and so that you can be here tomorrow as we explore the title track, And Justice for All. Thanks for watching.